Well, hello there, good people of the world. Welcome to another Flight Sim Safari video. Today we're going to do a really nice flight. This is where we ended up last time, Legazpi. We're going to do a little bit of an obstacle course. We're going to fly around these really very likely very pretty volcanoes. For this particular flight, we're going to end up at Diet. And since I like to use my FrontierWings platform for this, I'm going to create a flight. I'm going to have to click on missions and do a custom flight that starts at, let me take a look, Romeo Papa Lima Papa. Romeo Papa Lima Papa, that is Legazpi, and it is going to go to Romeo Papa Romeo Papa Uniform and Delta, right? Dot. There we go. We're going to simulate a little bit of cargo here. Let's talk about 2,000 pounds maybe, and that is going to be a freelance mission. So I have one custom mission that I created for myself. I am going to fly this now. So it is currently active, the active mission. I'm going to put that aside and pick up my little FrontierWings sim client. We're going to check for active missions. It shows up. Now we're going to have to put this aside as well and open up the simulator. I forgot about that. So I have bought the Black Square Caravan Professional. And I love to fly the cargo variant, which looks pretty awesome. Quite walk around. There is lots of detail on this aircraft. It also flies very well, but where it's about 6:45 in the morning right now, and just looking at these textures, this is the rivets and the little dents that are in the surface of the plane. It's not completely. It's also a little bit used, as you can see. It's got these all the dirt that comes from flying through insects and all that. It is just a very, very nice model. I love it, and it flies very well. Also, it doesn't have a glass cockpit. It's something that we have to work a little harder to do stuff. So let's get on with the show. Let's get inside the cockpit. The airplane is cold and dark. We're going to turn it on. Electrical stuff. Let's make sure the alert sound comes from not having turned on the fuel. Okay. Next step would be to just bring the engine online. And I have already programmed the flight plan into the Garmin system. I'm using the GTN 750 here. That's the one from PMS. So we're at 20% RPM, introducing the fuel right now. Now let's take a look at the ITT. It peaks out at under 700, which is all right. There we go. You can turn off the starting stuff. Okay, turn on the taxi lights and everything else. So there are a couple of warning lights here. Prop beta, because the prop is still in beta, which isn't that bad. I am going to increase the prop here. And there is the detent. So there's one warning light which I have not been able to get rid of in several flights that I had, and I did not find any way to get rid of this. Standby electric inoperable. If I turn on the standby alternator, then this goes away, but I get the standby electric power is on. And if I can turn it on, in my opinion, it does not mean that it's inoperable. So I'm just going to ignore this. and get on with the show. Let's configure the autopilot. We're going to go to, I would say, initially 6,500. I am going to use FLC mode, the flight level change mode. This does not really exist in this autopilot, but due to a bug or some, I don't know, some malfunction in the system or too much leeway, you can actually activate FLC. And as you can see, it's also going to show up in the, if I activate the autopilot, let's see. If I activate it, then you can see that it actually changes to FLC, which does not really exist in that kind of, it's a, I think it's a Bendix, yeah, it's an Bendix autopilot. So it should not really go to FLC mode, but because I'm a lazy bastard and I get easily distracted, I use FLC mode in this plane as well. So I'm just going to use what I can get. Turn off the autopilot. And then I think we're good to go. We can lower the flaps to 20 degrees and increase the, go to high idle. No, we don't need high idle yet. Let's talk to ATC. I'm actually using ATC today. So this airfield has a tower. And we're going to call for clearance or for VFR clearance. Frequency is 118.7. Baikal International Tower, Kodiak, Caravan, Papa 2 Delta Foxtrot Golf would like to request VFR clearance to Romeo Papa Uniform Delta. On departure, maintain VFR at or below 1500. Departure 120.2, squawk 7126. Expecting runway 23, Delta Foxtrot Golf. 26. And we're going to hit ident. Not sure if this is actually necessary, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay. Ready to taxi to the active, Delta Foxtrot Golf. That was not what I was saying. I was requesting taxi clearance for the active runway, Delta Foxtrot Golf. 23, Delta Foxtrot Golf. So the Black Square Caravan is actually a very pretty plane, not only from the outside but also from the inside. It's got a lot of character. You will have to manage torque properly because you're going to be able to damage the engine. This is something that I could show you right here, right now. Before I take off, I am going to intentionally damage the engine. You can see this is Black Square typical tablet style. We've got the engine simulation, and now if I go ahead and we're going to increase the torque to amounts that are senseless, you will be able to see that the engine condition quickly degrades very quickly. We're at 2300 torques, and as you can see, this is something that the engine does not at all like. So if you just push the throttle forward blindly, it's going to hurt the engine. So you're going to have to manage your torques. There's almost no situation where you can just blindly push the throttle full forward. It's not going to work. It's going to damage the engine. So I'm going to repair it. Yes, I'm sure. And put it away. So what you really need to keep in mind is that the torque should never exceed like, I don't know, 2000. Something like that. That is the absolute maximum that you should do. I like to fly torques between 1500 and 1700. That's usually good enough. And also you should of course take a look at ITT. It should not exceed 800, but it's better if you keep it in the green, as well as the RPM from the prop. Usually after takeoff I reduce the RPM to like 1600, 1700, something like that. That is good enough for cruise, and it's not going to be awfully slow. The Grand Caravan is a slower plane than the Kodiak. That's a matter of fact, and sometimes I I don't like that, but it's apart from that, it's an awesome plane, really. So taxi light off, landing light on. Pitot is on, flaps are set, rudder trim is neutral, and we're going to set the elevator to takeoff trim. There we go. And let's go. It's a little hot in here, isn't it? Let's reduce the temperature. There you go. The plane already likes to take off very quickly. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I am such an idiot. I forgot to activate the flight tracking. I am such an idiot. That happens all the time because I'm so occupied with making sure that the plane is configured correctly. I usually just forget to. And I'm talking about this one here. At some point, I need to check the aircraft load. I was just wondering why the plane literally jumps into the air, because it does not yet have any cargo in it. That's the reason. Okay, let's quickly land again. And this is not a very legal landing, but I want to get this. I want to get the load. Yeah. I want to get the cargo inside the plane real quick. So don't mind me doing this kind of stupid landing, or it's not a stupid landing, but it's a highly illegal landing. It's not something that you would be doing without any ATC or something. Okay, let's quickly come to a stop and turn around, get back to the beginning of the runway. Well, that was a rather... I think we're going to have to reset the flight. Okay. So, hold on. We're going to put in some cargo here. We need 2,000, which means if you have been using the BlackSquare stuff, you know that you have all kinds of ways to configure the cargo. So let's put in 800 and 800 and another 400. That should be good enough. Check the aircraft load. Let me show you the sim client real quick. We need to remove 70 pounds. Oh dear. Okay, let's remove 100 pounds. That should be good enough. There we go. Start the tracking process. So let's put that aside and take off again. And I can also reset the flight. Yeah, the ADC system does not recognize where I am, so let's talk to ACC once we're in the air. Let's make sure that we manage the torque correctly. I am, as many other people, affected by performance issues. Since Sim Update 5, I have had all kinds of problems. So 85 knots, raise the flaps to 10 degrees. Accelerating, let's raise them entirely at 100. Yeah, sure. Of course, I'm ready. Give me the number. Oh, look at that awesome. There's the awesome mountain. Okay, let's talk to control. Center, this is Grand Caravan Papa 2 Delta Foxtrot Golf. Just took off from Romeo Papa Lima Papa, climbing to 6,500. Destination is Romeo Papa Uniform Delta, request flight following. Four, 6, 4, 5, and ident. There we go. QNH 1010 Delta Foxtrot Golf. I'm currently still hand flying this. We can start to reduce the RPM. We don't need to push the engine more than necessary. Let's go to 1700 and reduce the torques to like 1800. There we go. Then we can go ahead and activate the autopilot. We're going to use GPS mode. I'm going to switch over to GPS and activate FLC and nav. There we go. The autopilot does its magic. So these are the awesome mountains that we saw earlier on the map, and they really look pretty inside the simulator. There is no doubt about that. This one here is extraordinarily, this one is extraordinarily symmetric, right? There's not a whole lot that has been blown off the mountain so far. There is a couple of other in this entire area of Indonesia and the Philippines. There are many really pretty volcanoes. Many of them have some part of the side or something like that were blown off during some eruption, and this particular one seems to be pretty intact. So this is a nice conical shape, and it's beautiful. We're also, as you can see, we're going to fly to some of the other volcanoes, and let's take a look at them. Let's also take a look at the flight tracking. It seems that everything is all right. The aircraft has taken off. There has been another check for the cargo, so we don't cheat, and we're en route. We've done 8% so far, and 67 nautical miles to go, and our ground speed is about 110. Altitude is increasing, obviously, and all of that. So, and it's we're in the Black Square Caravan Professional SuperCargoMaster. Yeah. What I really like about this plane, not only that it is that it has a very deep simulation, I think it's quite a bit deeper and more immersive for my tastes than the Kodiak. I really do like the Kodiak. As you know, if you've watched some of my videos, I know that I have flown the Kodiak a lot in the last couple of months and years, actually. The Kodiak is usually my go-to bush plane, but since the Caravan came out, it took a while until I bought it, a couple of weeks, because I had vacation and other stuff going on, but then I bought it, and it totally... it's totally convincing. It's one of the best I think it's one of the best renditions, simulations of a turboprops engine and plane aircraft at all for 2024. It's awesome in many different ways. So I really appreciate the work that these guys put in. And it's my current, my go-to plane currently for almost everything that we do. Also on the FlightSimSafaris tours that usually happen every Tuesday and every Thursday night, somewhere around 1900 UTC, if you're interested. If you want, you can take a look at the flightsimulator.com forums. In the events section, you can usually find some event for FlightSimSafaris. It's got a prefix that is FSS. Let's zoom out a little here. There you go. This is the nice one. I think we're going to fly a little bit too. We're going to fly heading, because I want to see these, wait a second, what did I just do? That's one of the things that one of the little problems that you have if you're using the Bravo throttle quadrant. Sometimes I forget to switch the bug mode. And we're going to activate heading and fly to the right a little, because I want to see these beautiful... Oh, look at that one. This one has been blown off quite a significant portion of the crater of the caldera of the mountain side, so that one really took a hit from inside. And I think we can switch over to the external view and then go ahead and do a bit of time lapse. I'll see you on the other side once we approach the destination. What a great massive volcano. This is awesome. this is one of those volcanoes where really the caldera has blown off the entire one part of the entire side of the mountain, and it probably was some kind of huge, massive eruption, and then everything went sideways, literally. Okay, let's get back on track so we don't miss our destination. Okay, we're at the top of the descent right now. Let's go back into the cockpit and prepare for the landing. First of all, I have to say that ATC has somehow messed up our destination. It has for some reason it thinks that we're going to go to Romeo Papa Uniform Kilo, which is not true, where we have Delta as destination. So I'm going to ignore ATC for now, and let's take a look at a little nav map. According to the latest, actually we can do this in, I forgot about that, on the FrontierWings briefing page. If we take a look at the local conditions here, I'm going to zoom in a little. The local conditions at our destination are like this. There's only partly cloudy. It's pretty hot. We've got 9 knots of wind coming from the west, and the suggested runway would be 24. This is not necessarily the weather that's actually happening in the simulator. This is real weather coming from the website met.no. I always pull it from there because they have pretty reliable data. But that not as I said numerous times, I think it does not really necessarily mean that this real weather is happening in real time in the sim. So it could be that we're wrong here. Anyway, the supposed suggested runway is 24. So we're going to put that into the procedures here. Let's see, we have visual 24. That's good enough. Let's activate the approach. We're supposed to be at 800 feet for the final. And that's good enough, right? I want the map. Here we go. Okay, let's start our descent. We should descend with about 1,200 feet per minute, I think. That should do it, or maybe 1,300. I'm a little late here on the beginning of the descent. Let's reset QNH. I think I'm going to skip this artificial intelligence ATC again and just use vPilot. There's nobody on the frequency, but we can use Unicom or pretend to use Unicom. So as you can see, there is another warning light because we are low on fuel. Right, we can tap the glass. Actually, that's one of the funny things about the BlackSquare stuff. If it actually happens that some of the gauges here can get stuck, and if you tap the glass, then there is a good chance they're going to get unstuck, which is awesome. we're descending with we can increase the speed a little bit, just a little bit. So we're low on fuel. I have put in the bare minimum, and these are the fuel gauges. The Grand Caravan, just like in real life, this has a bit of a very simple fuel system. What can happen is that the fuel drains from one wing and runs over to the other wing if you're parking the plane with a bit of a slope. If you're parking it that the left wing is lower or the right wing is lower than the other one, then it happens that if fuel flows into the other wing, and then you have a little bit of a then there is a difference when it comes to the amount of fuel per wing. And in this particular case, if one wing is running low, you can just turn this one here off and make sure that you use up the fuel in the wing that is fuller. You would expect a decently modern plane to be able to handle this more elegantly, but the Caravan isn't like that. It's a workhorse, but not necessarily the most modern one. It's also got I think it's a Bendix radar, right? Yeah, which is working very nicely. Unfortunately, there is pretty good weather here, so I'm not going to be able to show you what's happening. But there's no precipitation coming up. I'm going to show you on a different flight, maybe at some point. Let's see. We're soon going to turn left. And we're going to descend to 800 feet. Oh, for crying out loud. There we go. QNH is correct. So, yeah, I know. The little warning sound that you get is, as usual, if you are approaching the currently selected altitude for the autopilot, then it's going to remind you we're 1,000 feet either above or below the selected target altitude. So you know that something is going to happen pretty soon. Let's zoom in a little. There we go. We are going to begin our turn to final, runway 24. I like the approach in this particular case because it's over open water. So in case I am screwing this up, I'm not going to kill people on the ground. I'm just going to sink my plane into the bottom of the ocean. That's all that's going to happen. Kodiak, let's switch to approach mode so that the plane is going to capture the glide path. On final, I'm going to reduce the speed to about 110. There you can see the runway. It's right up ahead here. Prop full forward. We can extend the flaps. Once more to 20 degrees, that's good enough. The runway is long. We don't need full flaps for the approach. For the landing, we're on short final. Let's keep the speed at around 80 knots. And I'm going to hand fly the rest. There we go. Okie dokie. That was an appropriately soft landing. Turn around, find ourselves a parking spot. Raise the flaps. Turn on the taxi light. And find a fuel station because we're low on fuel, are we not? Oh, I like these trees. Look at the what's it called? The roots. So that was another flight for the Grand World Tour. I'm going to have to do more flights in a shorter amount of time because otherwise it's going to take. It's going to be a ridiculously long tour. There's a guy. We're not going to. There we go. Okay, so that's the Black Square Caravan. Awesome plane, right? Awesome. Also, very good plane for this entire tour. Turn stuff off. Shut off the fuel. Lights off. Electricity stuff off. And in case you're interested, it does have in certain in some systems are persisting their states where you left the plane in. So for example, if I forget to shut off, if I forget to set the fuel selector to off, then it is still the fuel tank is the valve is still going to be open next time I enter the plane. So that was it. Have a nice day, and I will see you on the next one. Take good care of yourself.